This conference will now be recorded.
Alright guys, so let's start our discussion. Okay, so yesterday we were discussing about the Power BI few of the components, right? Like the, the types of elements under the Power BI, right? So in today's session, let's focus few of other aspects of it. Okay, so that is okay. And before I move on to the a concept called transformation or the Power Query editor. Okay, so yesterday we like few of the folks they were asking some information, right? Like where they wanted to connect it to uh, okay. So where they wanted to connect it to the different data source, that is Zira, as well as connecting to SAS, right? And connected to the SharePoint list, SharePoint folder, all those things, right? So I have did some kind of R&D. Yes, you are able to do it successfully with respect to the Jira, SAS, all those things, or to the SharePoint. That is absolutely the connectivity can be established through Power BI desktop. Okay, that's what we were discussing about the data sources connectivity in yesterday's session, right? Yes, with respect to these, is absolutely possible. Okay, yeah, and please go through it during your free time. Probably you can spend some couple of minutes of time, and it's a pretty straightforward. It's not like a very master's kind of knowledge is required. No, nothing like that. It's kind of a plain information. Okay, so anyhow, gather some information here. So please go through it. Okay, and yes, we already granted access to the video records. I think you might have received you know the Google Drive link. Okay, there we have placed all the video records that has been done yesterday. So today I'm going to place out this material right after this class immediately. Okay, in front of you, and I will do that so that I won't forget about it. Okay, all right.
Is SAS connection is straightforward, or I have seen that you have to use R language or something like that?
No, it's not about the R language where you have to use the ODBC driver. Okay, so with the help
Okay.
of the ODBC driver connectivity, you can do that. Okay, the R language is like kind of additional kind of a requirement. Okay, but in order to have a straight connectivity with respect to the SAT platform, you should have the ODBC driver. Okay, all right. So now in today's session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide an overview on the Power Query editor. So what is this Power Query editor, right? So this Power Query editor is basically to handle, okay, the transform layer. Okay, you see the transformation layer here, right? For example, you see a transform, right? So whenever you wanted to try to load a data, you see the transform, right? So that's what, so this is what we are going to discuss one by one. Okay, now okay, so before I move on with the Power Query editor, right? So if you wanted to have very detailed information, okay, you can go through this information here. And apart from that, of course, the practical stuff anyhow we are going to discuss. Okay, so this is what our agenda is in today's session. Okay, so where we are going to discuss about the Power Query editor, and beneath that we have a concept called applied steps. What is the benefit of it? How it is going to be beneficial to us? Okay, and moreover we are going to discuss the column level operations such as column profiling, right? Column quality, column distributions, column profiling. Okay, sorry, it's a report here. And table level operations. We are going to discuss that. Okay. Now, but before that, how these activities will be performed, right? Yes, those activities will be taken care by the Power Query editor. So this Power Query editor is basically helpful to do a transformation, okay, or to edit the data files before they actually load it into your Power BI desktop. Okay, so before you load a data into the visualization, this is the kind of a activity you will be performing at a query editor level. Okay, now now you can ask me a question. Is this mandatory to have the transformation, or is this mandatory to have the Power Query editor presence? Yes, it is. The reason because it is helpful in order to nullify the majority of the actions which is carrying from your data source. Yes, it will neutralize majority of the unwanted actions which is not supposed to reflect into your data visualization. So where it can helpful, for example, to remove few of the unwanted rows or to handle your some erroneous records from the database, or it will be helpful to do a pivoting and unpivoting, to drill down. All these sort of activities can be performed with the help of this Power Query editor. Okay, let me show you this quickly. Now, let's say I would like to use the recent data source, that is, let's say I would like to use the data field. Okay, now the first and foremost step is establishing the connectivity, which we already done as per our yesterday session. We have seen how we can provide the elements to do connectivity to the OData, right? To the SQL server we have seen, all those things, similar steps. Okay. Now imagine that the connectivity is being established. Now, now where this transformation layer will come in picture? Let's talk about it. Okay. So this is what. Now you see all these tables here, right? This is what the data which is reflecting from your source, whatever the kind of data source. I don't mind. Okay, even I don't care at all. Okay. Now let's say, for example, I have picked up a table called orders details. Now I hope you are able to see this difference. See, the moment I select a table here, okay. See, at this point of time, I have not selected any table here. Okay. Now I have selected a table called order details. Okay. There is a this particular option called related tables, right? It is getting highlighted. You know what? Because Tableau Desktop is having that intelligence in order to identify the relationship which is defined in your backend data source, especially with related to the RDBMS databases, right? You will have that feature is most useful. Which means what? It will try to identify the relationships between the tables automatically. Okay. Yes. Now let's say if I select, now if I hit on this select related tables, right, it will pick up automatically all the relevant tables which is associated with the orders details. Now look at it. See, it's been picked up automatically, the orders, products, right? Likewise. Of course, I have only three relations between the tables. That is fine. Now you can ask me a question. Is this mandatory? See, again, the moment I selected one more, it is going to pick up the table which is associated with the continuation of those tables. See. Okay, now any more related tables? See, that's it. Just simply continue to uncheck. I'll show you one more time so that you'll have it.
So Ganesh, what if we are creating any table with writing a SQL, then only it's going to be select a related table or not?
It is going to be, as long as you have the established connection, right? Let's say in the SQL, you are going to establish a connectivity between the primary and foreign key with the rest of tables, right?
Yeah, but I am saying that if we write those query in the
Mm-hmm.
Power Editor itself, then
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good point. Yes, your question is going to be clarified automatically. Okay, give me like 15 minutes. Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Now, let's say for example, I have selected this table. Okay. Now, I'm trying to identify the tables which are associated with order details. See, it will give you two extra tables, right? Now, the moment if I hit one more time the selected related tables, Now it is going to bring up the tables which are associated with the products as well as orders as well as order details. Okay, that's the reason you see another set of tables also is included. Now that's it. Now if there is, now if I hit one more time, see, we did not find any more related association to the related tables, which means those tables are not having any association with the tables what we have selected, which makes sense. The reason because all these tables is reflecting from your data source, right? It doesn't mean that all the tables is going to be helpful for your dashboard, right? Only few set of tables based upon your requirement is going to be available, isn't it? So that's what. Now you can ask me a question: is this option, the select related tables option, is going to be helpful 100% in my real-time scenarios? Might not. The reason because this is helpful majority of the times where you are having, whenever you are having highly normalized kind of a data. Okay, then only it makes sense. Okay, but majority of the cases we prefer to select. Okay, we prefer to select manually the required tables. Mostly we don't use this option, but still you can use it. I'm saying that because Power BI is having that intelligence. Okay, now see here what. Let's say if I don't want to perform any transformation, then you can straight away hit on load. This is what I have shown you as simple examples so far. Now I'm going to show you transform data. What is this transform data? Right? Now let's take it. So this transform layer can perform with the help of Power Query Editor. Okay. So this, with the help of this Power Query Editor, right, you can able to, okay, you can able to perform the additional actions which is suits to your requirements of your dashboard development. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, from the transformations layer point of view, it is being called as queries. The tables has been treated as queries. Okay. Yes. The tables is being treated as queries. Okay. Now, these queries. Now, how many queries we have? 8 queries, isn't it? Now, in this transform layer, we are going to perform various activities in order to handle, okay, to remove the unwanted columns, okay, in order to perform changes to your data types, okay, to handle the errors, to perform group by, to cover pivoting and unpivoting, okay, right, and to perform the drill down activities. Okay, these are all the reasons. These similar options you might have seen it even in Excel, right? Yes. The Power Query Editor is an advanced version of your Excel. Trust me. Yes. If you are powerful with Excel, this is nothing. Okay. This Power Query Editor is nothing if you are powerful with your Excel. Trust me. Now you can ask me a question. So if that is the case, why they have introduced the Power Query Editor? Can't I use those similar actions in Excel? You can, but Microsoft Power BI has given additional features in terms to handle the machine learning. This machine learning you can't have it in Excel. That is not possible. And kind of to handle that different analytics like text analytics, all those things, cognitive services is not possible in the Excel. But the rest of activities like the merging queries and performing table level actions. See, look at this. Remove the top rows, right? See, indexing columns, merging queries, remove errors. All these things can perform in Excel. I definitely agree. But if you wanted to integrate with respect to the next level of advanced elements to be performed in your project, then it's not going to be. That is the reason they have improvised in terms of coming up with the different aspects of course, it's not like exactly Excel, not like 100% replica. No, it's more or less, I would say. But on top of that, additionally, you have some more benefits. Okay, is going to be available. That is the main funda behind this Power Query Editor. Okay, that is one thing. And you are going to perform these changes for what? See, you might be having all the, see, for example, in this orders details, I might be having, kind of 100 rows or 100 columns. Okay, see, you see there's a kind of normalization here, fill down, all this. We will discuss, don't worry that. Okay, now, so, okay, but all these actions might not be required for my dashboard. So, if that is the case, I'm going to nullify those unwanted columns impact into my, I'm going to neutralize the impact of my these unwanted columns into my dashboard. Okay, I don't want all those things to be impacted in my dashboard where the performance is going to be impacted, right? So that is the main reason behind this. Okay, now here you can perform various activities such as, for example, look at this. Okay, if I wanted to change the data type of this, right? Instead of whole number, let's say I would like to use it as decimal number. If there is a decimal value, yes, it is going to be reflected. If not, no. Right. Nothing. Running the stuff in place of thing. Okay. Now look at this. So for this particular one, let's say unit price, I would like to, okay, keep it as, instead of decimal, I would like to keep it as the whole number. See, I have the decimals for now, right? The decimals will be taken out. See, now I have only the decimal number. That's it. Likewise. Now I would like to rename the column. Okay. Just double click. Okay. Let's say I would like to do some space here between unit and price, and I would like to add yes, unit prices. Right, and then coming to the discount. Okay, now you can ask me a question. What is this records here, right? So for now, please forget about it. You will come to know. There is a concept called merging and appending queries. Okay, you will come to know when I am discussing about that. Since this is a manually cooked up data, you will be seeing this. But in the real time point of view, you're not going to. It's not going to appear anyway. Okay, so don't worry with that. So let me remove that. So if I wanted to remove it, yes, remove it simply. Okay. Now for the discount, let's say you can do a whole number or whatever. Duplicate column. Okay, remove duplicates. Let's say if I wanted to remove any duplicates in this particular column, you can. Okay. Replace values. If you wanted to replace the values wherever you see the value of 0, right? If you wanted to replace with some indication, yes, you can do that. Okay. Yeah. So to change data type. Let's say I would like to keep it as fixed decimal number. Fixed decimal number. Okay. Now, what now you are, so this is the main intention behind this. This is just an example. Okay, you can perform this sort of activities. There is no which with respect to each and every query or each and every table you can perform this. Now let's say I have this order date here. Okay, now I wanted to change the data type. Okay, simply I would like to capture, instead of date and time, I would like to capture only the date. Okay, likewise. And if you want, you can apply the filters, whatever. Plenty of stuff can be done. Okay, now again, to this one as well, I would like to change the date. So do a transform. These are all the kind of a drill down activities can perform. And this can be picked up purely into a report. I mean dashboard, I mean. Okay. Now let's say the date again. Okay. Now let's say I don't want this column to be included in my dashboard. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right. What not? Plenty of actions can be done. Okay. Now see, if you observe here, you see a concept called applied steps here, right? And even here also, you did some changes, like you change the data type, right? And
Ganesh,
we have removed
Ganesh,
one column.
Ganesh, your voice is not clear that much.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me reset my mic.
Okay.
The reason is I think it's it's raining in my face. Okay, that's the reason might be. Okay, but anyhow, let me reset it. Let me reset my headset. Give me a minute. Okay. Yeah. How about now? Is there something okay?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if you observe here, right, you see, the different action is being captured by the actions whatever you are performing on this layer, on this PowerPoint editor, each and every step is being captured in the form of applied steps. Right? See, when I picked up from the source, this is what the data I have. Okay. And this is what the navigations I have. Now, in this step, I have done, I have changed the data type. Change the data type by what? So here you can see this under formula bar, you can see the action, what I did. Okay. Order ID type number, unit price. Okay. This is what I have changed the data type for those. Okay. And in this step, I have renamed the column. What column? I have renamed from unit price to unit space prices. I have renamed that. And here, reordered the columns. Right. I have reordered, renamed the reorder. I have done that. Like unit prices, quantity discount. I have reordered it, and I have removed a column here in this step. Okay. Yes. And I have changed the data type here. That is with respect to for this particular table. Isn't it? Now let's say I wanted to go back. There is no control Z. There is no control Y. All what you need to do is you need to dependent on this. Let's say I would like to go back. Then what you can do? You can simply remove this. See now this. Okay. With the help of this, you can do an undo, but you can't do a redo. If you wanted to redo, again you need to perform the required change. Okay. Right? This is what. Why it is helpful. Right. So this applied steps is helpful when you are dealing with multiple dashboards or multiple developers are working on the same dashboard. This is all helpful. For example, let's say here I can capture the steps what I did. Yes, simply rename it. You can call it as rename the columns of what? So simply unit price. Capture that. Okay. So that you can by looking at this, okay, you'll come to know, or the other developer will come to know. Let's say I developed this dashboard and now I'm going on a vacation for 15 days or 20 days, whatever. Okay. Now what you can do, you can pass on this, this query editor or this application or these queries to some other developer. Now that guy might not have a clear picture what you did, right? So he can go through this applied steps. Okay, what is the reason? So that's the reason. Whenever you perform any changes, you better to provide kind of a justification in a shortcut way. Okay, instead of elaboratively, so that the other person will come to know. Okay, he renamed this, and you can call it. You can say that refer this document, something like that. You can mention. Then you can give an elaborative information. Okay, likewise. That is one purpose. Okay. And secondary purpose is it is always helpful to track whatever the steps we have done. And mistakenly something, let's say, uh, you know, let's say mistakenly we have done this, for example. I don't want this. Now you can remove this particular step. Okay. See. Or if you wanted to delete this step, right? Remove column. So in this, so yes, you are going to delete that. Okay. I mean you are going to step back or before that. Now, if you delete this step, what is going to happen? Nothing. As long as this particular column is not being used anywhere in your formulas or in your dashboard, okay? As long as you are not using anywhere, then there is no negative impact. Let's say, for example, that particular column I have used somewhere else in my dashboard or in this transformation layer. So your query is going to be broken, right? Your query is going to be break. That's the reason you have to ensure whenever you are trying to delete any proper step which is already implemented, you have to ensure that there is no negative impact to the transformation layer or to your dashboard. Now look at this. This is the warning message it will prompt you, which makes sense. Or if you want to delete this step, deleting this step may affect subsequent steps, which could cause your query to break. That's fine. So if there is no, so that's the reason we should ensure that there is no negative impact. So if that is the case, then go ahead and click on delete. Okay. Now, this column is okay, right? Likewise, whatever the column you have deleted, it is reflected. Okay. Now, in between these steps, let's say in between the renamed column and the change data type, I would like to perform one more action. Okay. Now let's say I would like to delete this order rate. In between the renamed columns of unit price, I have done some more changes. I reordered the columns and I have changed the data type, right? But in between, I would like to perform this action. Okay. See, because the current step is where you are at. The current steps you are at is the renamed column. But after that, you have performed two more changes, right? But in between those changes, you would like to perform one more action. So again, you are trying to insert some action or you are trying to perform some action. So even in that case, you have to ensure there is no negative impact to the existing one. So that's the reason it will provide you the warning message. Okay, it will provide you the warning message. Okay, so that is what our responsibility to ensure. Become insert. See, this particular column is being filled. So what is the business reason? You can mention it. Okay. Or what is the column is being deleted? All those things. And if you don't want that, if you go back to that original status, then simply remove it. Remove that particular step. Yes. Yes. So you're seeing the differences here, right? Delete step, insert step. That's what you have to capture. Okay. You have to grasp that. Delete step, insert step. This kind of various actions will prompt you. And it is like a kind of it's not like a heavy brain required for this, right? Just you need to apply the common sense. Okay. Like I mean, yeah. Now, so this is one way of identifying the tracking of these steps, which will be helpful to let you know the historical information on each and every activity. Okay. If not, you see under home button, right? You see, you know, an option called what? Advanced editor, right? So if you go to this advanced editor, it will give you in a script way. You don't need to write down the script manually. The tool is providing the script. So whatever the actions we have done so far on this window, it will provide you each and every step in a script form. Okay. See, in this step, I have changed the data type. Okay. Okay. And in this step, I have renamed the column. Okay. From unit type, unit price to unit prices. This is what I do. Likewise. And if you wanted to write down any step, you can. You can write down here. I mean, you can write down the changes manually. It can be done. Okay. But why to do that? Right? Why to do that? Since tool is providing, very self-explanatory changes, right? Then what is the need to do that? Right? Yeah, you can see the display options here. You wanted to display in the mini map or enable the word wrap, all those things. Or do you want to display the line numbers, the line numbers, all those things. Right? That also can be done. But it purely depends upon your comfort. If you are very strong enough with the kind of understanding this and you wanted to spend some time, you can. But instead of that, tool is giving this kind of a very elaborative, trackable information. Okay, so this is the benefit of this applied steps. Okay, any questions on this applied steps?
So can we do some logic kind of work over here?
Sorry, what was the question?
So can we do some logic kind of steps over here, like
Absolutely.
putting some? Yeah, okay.
Yes, absolutely. That is doable. It is you are having your own flexibility with respect to your needs. So okay. Yeah. If you want, you can write down. Okay. You can write down the advanced editor. You can write down the logic, whatever you want. You can. There is no restrictions for that. Yeah. Now,
So in advanced editor, you will going to be show us, right, what is the parameter, how we can write, and what those steps, right?
see that I am going to show you at the during the dash expressions. Then if you wanted to create a new variable, right, and if you wanted to apply the business logic for that.
Okay,
So that I'm
okay,
going to
okay,
discuss during the dash expressions. But for this
okay.
layer, especially with respect to the applied steps, trust me, you don't need
Mm.
to spend much time on this advanced editor because all these steps is being captured here. Okay, but why we need to spend time again? I mean, even in your day-to-day job also, why we need to spend time? Which is unnecessary step. But tool is providing that feature in the script oriented, which means tool is capturing all the actions, whatever you are performing in the script oriented way. That's what the intention is. It means on the behind of every actions, whatever you are performing, your steps is being captured to the tableau desktop defined scripts. Okay, that's what my intention is.
Okay.
Now, now, I think Manoj was asking a question. Can I create my own table by writing down custom SQL, or can I enter the man? Can I do a manual entry of a table? Will that be possible? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Under home button, you see a tab called an option called enter data. Right now, look at this. Create. This is the purpose of this enter data is for what? Create a new table by typing or pasting the new content. In few scenarios during your real time, I mean during your project, right, or during your day-to-day job, there would be a situation, okay, where you have situation to enter some data manually, okay. Now, if that is the case, now what you can do is hit on this enter data, right? Give the proper naming conventions. Let's say, for example, some keyword. So this is just a column name, okay, and type, okay, right? Whatever. Now, keyword is what? For example, you can write it down. Okay. Okay. This is a keyword. Okay. Type is what? Anytime. Okay. Okay. Now I can perform this kind of a calculation, but there is a limitation for this. Okay. You can keep a name for this. Okay. Let's say custom custom table or custom query. For what? Whatever the verbiage, whatever the terminology you can give it. Okay. It purely depends upon images. Okay. Now click OK. So there would be one more query is going to be added. See, 9 items. Okay. Likewise, you can perform. See, again, if you look at here, the script is being added automatically, isn't it? You go to the advanced filter here, to that particular table I'm talking about, okay, not the entire data structure. Okay. See, isn't it? It's been created. You don't need to bother about this because it's a scripted grid. System has been taken care of it. Okay, but this is what you see. Okay, and Manoj, I think you were asking me a question, right? Can I create my own table with my own query? Yes, if you want it, you can do it. You can customize this query by establishing the connectivity with the rest of tables. Okay, and then the relationship is going to be established automatically. Is that clear?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And same
Now,
way, I can put my SQL
absolutely.
query also. Okay.
Absolutely. But the syntaxes you have to be very cautious, the syntax wise. Okay? That's only the thing. Okay. And one more thing.
Okay.
This is one way of dealing. Okay. And for this, there is certain limitations. Okay. I mean, if I wanted to write down the query, that is a different case. But if I wanted to build this manually one by one, right, there is certain limitations. Where Power BI, for the Power Query editor is accepting only 3000 cells. This is one cell, two cells, three cells, four, five, six. I have six cells only. Likewise, it accepts only 3000 cells. Beyond that, it is not possible. Okay? Beyond that, it is not allowed. Okay, it won't accept that. That is the limitation at this point of time. Probably in the upcoming versions, they might increase the count. Okay, but most of the cases, whenever you are trying to create a kind of custom queries like this, right, it will be having, so it is better to control that. Otherwise, it is going to, having some negative impact in terms of the performance. Okay, now you can ask me a question. What if I wanted to build my own logic? So for that, you can create a variable. Now let's say, for example, I have a column called let's say, yeah, on this unit price, I wanted to create one more variable and I wanted to write down a formula like unit price into unit in stock divided by some count. Okay, I would like to define that calculation. For that, do you need to write down this custom query? No, you need to write down some kind of expressions for that. That's what we will come to in our upcoming sessions. Creating a variable, how we can create a variable, and how we can include the logics of that. So in that case, you can use that. That's what called DAX expressions. Okay. Data analysis expression. You'll come to know that in our upcoming sessions. You'll come to know that very clearly. Okay. Right. So that is what we are going to achieve with the help of this Power Query editor. Okay. So this custom tables also can be created. Absolutely, there is no restrictions for this. Okay. Now you can ask me a question. Does this custom query is going to reflect in my dashboard? Yes. Why not? So once you're done with all these changes, right? Now here on the top left, right? You see, okay, you wanted to what were the changes you have done to the several queries, right? You wanted to save those changes and you wanted to go back to your dashboard again. If that is the case, now look at this. Close and apply. Okay, see. Now I closed it. Now, okay. Now you need to apply the changes. Okay. Whatever you have done with the changes, you have to apply, or whatever the pending changes, you have to apply. Now you can go ahead and develop the dashboard from here. Now look at this. Now what I need to do? Okay. Now it is loading the changes and the data. Now it is loading from your in-memory into your Tableau desktop. So far, the changes, whatever is there, right, that was in the cache of your system, that was in memory of the system. Okay. Now it is loaded into from the RAM of my system, from the in-memory of my system. Now it is loading into my desktop. Okay. So that is what you need to capture. You need to understand that. Okay. See, the custom query also is loading into my loading data model into my dashboard. Where with the help of this I can develop my dashboard. Okay. Now I'm in a good position to go ahead and develop the dashboard. See, the query whatever you have developed here, right? Eligibility keyboard type below the columns. Okay. Now what I can do first and foremost thing is I have to pick the graph, isn't it? Okay. pick a graph, and then from there, from the corresponding, from the corresponding columns of fields, whatever you can choose from here. Okay, now let's say I would like to see some, order details. Let's say I would like to see the quantity and with respect to some product. Now, this is the representation, right? Now, if you wanted to change this, yes. And if you wanted to apply some filters or whatever, this purely depends upon the inputs. If I wanted to apply the unit price related to that, there is. So one column is indicating the quantity, and another column is indicating the unit price. Look at the legends, the iconic representation. Quantity is appearing in the blue color, dark light blue, and unit price is appearing in the dark blue. That's so of course, later on this we can perform so many actions on this. Those things will come to the okay. So now, so where we have a lot to discuss about the filters, all those things. It's very quite self-explanatory, honestly speaking. Okay? But yeah. Now, okay. Now, so here you see report layer and what data layer and relationships, right? The model. Now go to the model, right? So it will show you. Let me try to all the relationships with the next chapter, right? At this point of time, I don't have any relationship to my rest of tables to this custom query, what I developed, right? If you have a relationship, you can do a join or whatever. I mean, that relationship will establish automatically. Okay, that's how it goes. That's what I think Manoj was referring as. See, this is the relationships I have between the tables. You can see the relationship. And we are going to discuss practically. There are a lot of things to discuss about creating a hierarchy, all those things like establishing the join between those queries, and what is this star indication? Okay, what is this arrows indication? All these things we are going to discuss. Okay. Now you can ask me a question. Now, do I need to save this? Yes, you have to go to file, okay, save. The moment you are trying to save the dashboard along with your the query editor changes, okay, you have to save it. Okay. So when you save the Power BI file, what is the extension of this? PBIX. Okay, PBIX. Okay. So what is the extension of your file? PBIX. So save it. Now along with that, your transform window also will be saved automatically. Okay. Yes, it is going to be saved. How I can reopen this during the next day or whatever, whenever. Go to file. Okay. Go to file. Open. Okay. You can open up the report or you can browse the report, whatever. So from here, again, I need to open the PBIX file. That's it. Okay. So with the help of that, you can continue the changes. Now let's say on the next day I have reopened my PBIX file. PBIX. Okay. This PBIX file is nothing but your Power BI desktop file. That's what the catch you should. Okay. Now, in the next day, I would like to reopen this, and I opened it. How I can turn into my transform layer? Okay. You can go to transform data. Okay. So you see an option right under home. You see transform data. Okay. This step you can use transform data. Now, your Power Query editor will open up. Right. This is one approach. Okay. If not, there is one more approach also to open this Power Query editor. Okay, go to any specific table, come into the query, right click here, you see what? Edit query, right? The moment you hit on the edit query, again it read out to the Power Query editor also. Okay, that's how it works. Right? See. There you go. Okay. Now the Power Query window is appearing. Right. Now you can perform the changes whatever you want. Okay. Now. Okay. Now there is a concept called okay column. Okay, this is what I was about to ask, right? That's basically about column level operations. Upright steps we have already discussed, and various steps, various other aspects also we discussed, right? And now the column level operations, right? Column profiling, column quality, column distribution. Okay? And trust me, these options, I mean, this kind of bit rich flavors is not available in the rest of tools. Okay, yes, the rest of tools, this particular option is not available. For example, if you talk about the ClickSense or the Tableau, this particular flavor is not available. These are all kind of additional benefits with respect to Power BI. Okay? And of course, we'll come to know slowly with the matter of experience. We'll come to know what is available in the tool, what is not available in the tools. Those things will come to know slowly. Okay? Now, what is this? Uh, column quality or the column profiling, column distribution, what is it? Right? Uh, and before I go there, so here you see the query settings here, right? Where I can enable this, say here. Let's say I have cancelled it. So if I wanted to enable that applied steps window, from where I can enable it, query settings. These are all, I'm pretty sure that these are all very minor, okay, trust me. But what I would request is, I would request you to, try to explore. I hope everyone have installed this. Okay? So go through the recorded sessions. Recorded sessions we already uploaded in the portal. In the Google Drive we have already uploaded. So go through it and just do some kind of, spend some 1 hour of time. That is more than enough, trust me. With your expertise and with your experience, this is just like a cakewalk. Okay? But you have to understand the funda, not the navigation steps. Okay? Navigation steps, if you play around, you will come to know. That's not a big deal. But you have to capture, you have to understand the tool features and the basic funda of it. That's it. Okay? Now, so, see, look at here. You see a green color which is indicating here, right? For every column, you see this, it is indicating here, right? Yeah. Right. So this is what your column quality. Column quality in the sense will let you know the number of empty records and the number of errors. I mean, this is the percentage and the valid values. Okay. With this is basically helpful in order to identify the health status of your column. That is what your column quality. Okay. Helpful for what? To understand. Okay. To understand the health status of your each and every column, and in order to identify the blank values, and in order to identify the erroneous records in those. What if I have an erroneous record? What if I have a blank values? Okay. You can perform the appropriate actions on top of that accordingly. Okay. See, we wanted to remove the errors. We wanted to remove the duplicates. We wanted to remove the empty values. We wanted to replace the errors in case if you have errors, because for now, of course, here I don't have any errors. If I wanted to have any errors to replace, we can. Okay. Because sometimes, there would be an empty record still popping up because on the data source level, there might be in a, data loading or the manual entries of the data might be missed. If that is the case, you have to fix it either in the back end or you have to fix it in the front end. Right? In the front end, I can't show all the errors records to my dashboard business users. Right? So it's something you have to do. So in order to handle all those activities, you have a specific feature called column quality. Okay. So, but anyhow, in tomorrow's session, I'm going to touch base a bit deeper on these column qualities and column profilings. Okay. Those things we are going to discuss. So, a bit elaborated. Okay. Now, we have 5 more minutes. Let me address the questions if anyone is having. So, let me go ahead one by one. Gianna, do you have any questions? Okay, I'll take it as yes, no questions. Manoj, do you have any questions?
No, right now not.
Cool. Kulwan, any questions?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Michael? Okay. Now, so for your information, let me show you this. Okay. We have uploaded, all the recorded sessions. Okay. Let me open up. So, probably, okay. So we have created a shared folder and we have granted access to everyone of you. Okay. So, and I'm going to upload, in this, we have granted access with this title, okay, Power BI demos. Okay. So in this, yesterday we have already uploaded the video record. So please go through it, and it is going to be on a day-to-day basis. Okay, we'll upload all the day-to-day recorded sessions on a daily basis, and the material also. I'll upload the material. Okay, let me show it quickly. Okay, see we have uploaded all the sessions here. Okay, we have uploaded along with the demonstrated session so that you won't miss out anything. And along with that, I'm going to upload all the material. Okay, all those things I'm going to upload it. Okay, and for your information, yesterday you were asking me the questions in order to establish the SaaS connectivity in Jira and all that. I've already captured it and I'm going to upload it. Okay, so I'll upload it right away, right after this session. Till what you have day 5, till day 5, I'm going to upload it right away. Okay, only the Power BI related stuff. Okay, so till day 5, I'm going to upload. Because if I upload all of them in a single shot, right, it's going to be confusion for you. That's only my intention. Otherwise, I don't have any objections. Okay, but eventually you will be getting all these things. Okay, yeah, it's going to be uploaded. Okay, and I'm going to upload the data sets and everything will be done. Okay, yeah, it's uploaded now. Okay,
Can you create a folder for a material?
yeah, that's what I'm about to do. That yeah, I'm about to do that. So let's say. But that I'll take care of it right away. Okay, move to day-to-day. Okay, but that I'll take care of it. Don't worry. So this is what. So your content is available here. Okay, let me do it all of this. So this is day-to-day session. Uh, it's a PPT slides, okay? And the rest one, I'm going to create one more day-to-day video recorded sessions, okay? Okay, so that's all. Anyhow, I'll take care of that. Okay, I'll upload it right away, and yeah, we'll catch up again tomorrow at the same time. Okay, so whenever you get a chance, so please try to spend some time so that you won't lose the track of it. That's only the main intention. Okay, all right,
Okay.
all right. Okay, we'll catch up tomorrow at the same time. Okay, I'm running
Bye.
late
Bye.
for. Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you. Thanks. Bye bye. Take care.